Welcome to Culture Vulture. It is your ultimate alternative weekly entertainment guide. We bring you the best of film, music, and the arts. Our perspective is fresh. Mainstream media often overshadows unique voices and creative expressions. Culture Vulture aims to shine a light on hidden cultural gems that deserve your attention. Each week, we curate a selection of films, music, and events designed to inspire and engage. We celebrate the diverse tapestry of artistic endeavours that shape our world. Highlights this week include The Departed, 2006, a tense crime thriller where an undercover cop and a mole within the police force try to expose each other while navigating a web of deception and betrayal in Boston. Our Ladies, 2019, a vibrant coming-of-age comedy drama that follows a group of Catholic schoolgirls on a chaotic trip to Edinburgh for a choir competition where they seek fun, freedom, and self-discovery. Nomadland, 2020, a poignant, reflective film about a woman in her 60s who becomes a modern-day nomad, traveling across the American West in her van after losing her job during the Great Recession.
Saturday, the 9th of November 2024. Paris, 13th District, 2021, BBC 4:10:30 p.m. In Paris, 13th District, we meet a group of young Parisians navigating love and relationships in a digital age. The 13th District is known for its multicultural atmosphere, which serves as a fitting backdrop for the characters' personal struggles. The film focuses on the fleeting nature of modern romance, with encounters that are often intimate, but emotionally detached. As the characters drift in and out of each other's lives, they face the paradox of closeness and alienation, revealing the challenges of finding lasting bonds in a fast-paced world. The characters' lives are marked by short-lived relationships and the constant push-pull between intimacy and independence. They crave connection, but fear commitment, caught in a loop of texting, swiping, and superficial connections. There's an underlying loneliness that seeps through their casual interactions, as they seek validation in fleeting moments. Through these encounters, the film paints a picture of love in an age where everything is at our fingertips, yet genuine connection feels increasingly rare. In many ways, Paris itself becomes a character in the film, representing both opportunity and isolation. The city's apartments, cafes, and streets are spaces where the characters meet and part ways, mirroring their emotional journeys. The film captures how urban life, with its crowded spaces and endless choices, can amplify feelings of solitude. The characters are physically close, but emotionally they are worlds apart, lost in their individual struggles. The film also explores the challenges of self-discovery and self-acceptance within this landscape. Each character is grappling with identity, trying to understand who they are beyond the roles they play in relationships. They seek meaning in connection, but struggle to reconcile their need for freedom with their desire for intimacy. This tension drives their choices, leading to both empowerment and heartache, as they learn about themselves through these fractured relationships. Ultimately, Paris, 13th District is a reflection on modern love and the complexities of human connection. The characters' experiences show the costs of independence, the risks of vulnerability, and the sometimes elusive nature of fulfillment. Through their intertwined lives, the film offers a poignant look at the contradictions of love today, where proximity doesn't always mean closeness, and freedom can feel like a trap. Our Ladies, 2019, Channel 4, 12:25 a.m. Our Ladies follows a group of schoolgirls on a day trip to Edinburgh, where the allure of freedom stirs their hearts and imaginations. Set in the 1990s, the film captures the energy and rebellious spirit of adolescence. The girls, dressed in school uniforms, quickly shed their innocent appearances as they explore the city, each bringing her unique personality to the mix. Their journey is one of self-discovery and defiance, as they step outside the boundaries of their small-town lives. The dynamics between the girls reveal deep bonds as well as tensions, as they confront personal dreams and fears. For some, this trip is a chance to escape the expectations that weigh on them back home. For others, it's a chance to explore desires that have long been repressed. As they wander through Edinburgh, their encounters highlight the gap between who they are and who they want to be, a gap that feels both thrilling and daunting. While there's plenty of humor and light-heartedness in the film, darker undertones surface as the characters confront uncomfortable truths. Their laughter masks insecurities and hidden wounds as they navigate the clash between their dreams and realities. In their encounters with new people and situations, they face questions about their identities and futures, with each experience adding to their understanding of themselves and each other. The film subtly explores the limitations of small-town life and the pressures that young people face as they transition into adulthood. The girls' sense of freedom is tinged with sadness, as they realize how much their environment has shaped them. This realization is both empowering and painful, as they confront the forces that have molded their desires and fears. The trip ultimately reveals the beauty and fragility of youth, as they glimpse a world that's both exciting and unforgiving. Our Ladies captures the bittersweet essence of adolescence, with its intense emotions and unforgettable moments. The film is a celebration of friendship, individuality, and the courage to defy expectations, yet it also acknowledges the limits of youthful dreams. By the end, the girls return home with new perspectives, changed by the memories they've created together. Their journey is a reminder that the path to self-discovery is rarely easy, but always transformative.
Sunday the 10th of November, 2024. Shoot to Kill, Terror on the Tube, 1 of 2, 9 p.m. Channel 4. Shoot to Kill, Terror on the Tube recounts the tragic events surrounding the fatal police shooting of Jean-Charles de Menezes on a London Underground train in 2005. Following a series of deadly bombings in London, police are on high alert, aiming to prevent further attacks. In this tense atmosphere, de Menezes, an innocent Brazilian electrician, is misidentified as a potential threat. The film examines how fear, miscommunication, and assumptions led to this tragic mistake, bringing into sharp focus the human consequences of a rushed response in a climate of fear. The police in Shoot to Kill are depicted as deeply affected by the intense pressure to prevent another attack, with heightened vigilance quickly escalating into fatal overreach. Officers, struggling to manage their sense of duty amidst unclear intelligence, grapple with decisions that are critical, immediate, and life-altering. Through the lens of their actions, the film captures the difficulty of balancing public safety with the responsibility to protect individual rights. The narrative explores how, in times of crisis, duty can overshadow caution, leading to irreversible consequences. The portrayal of Jean-Charles de Menezes reflects the vulnerability of individuals caught in situations beyond their control. His ordinary daily commute becomes a deadly encounter, highlighting the fragility of life in an environment where individuals are judged on suspicion alone. His story illustrates the personal impact of a world where people, especially those from immigrant backgrounds, can be misinterpreted based on appearance and circumstance. The film underlines the tragic irony of de Menezes' innocence, making his death a devastating reminder of how assumptions and stereotypes can spiral into tragedy. Miscommunication is a recurring theme, as confusion within the police force leads to a series of mistakes that culminate in catastrophe. Through this, the film critiques the lack of coordination and clarity in times of emergency, suggesting that an organization's strength is tested most in its moments of failure. The breakdown in communication between officers and agencies serves as a cautionary reminder of the need for clear protocol and cautious decision-making, especially when lives are at stake. The rushed, fragmented information passed between teams reveals how chaos can cloud judgment, sometimes with irreversible consequences. In the end, Shoot to Kill, Terror on the Tube is a sobering look at the complexities and moral challenges of policing in a post-9/11 world. The film does not offer easy answers, instead posing difficult questions about accountability, the cost of mistakes, and the role of fear in shaping actions. It leaves viewers with a sense of empathy for those involved, but also a profound unease about the costs of a system that, under extreme pressure, can make tragic and fatal errors. Deliverance, 1972, BBC 2:10 p.m. Deliverance tells the harrowing story of 4 urban men who embark on a canoe trip down a Georgia river, seeking adventure and a break from civilization. What begins as a bonding experience in nature quickly takes a dark turn, as they encounter hostile locals who shatter their idyllic escape. The river, initially a source of beauty and excitement, becomes a menacing force that tests their resilience and moral limits. In this brutal setting, the men must confront their vulnerabilities and instincts as survival takes precedence over all else. As the characters face escalating dangers, their friendship and loyalty are pushed to the brink. The group's dynamics shift as they respond to the threat of violence, revealing unexpected strengths and weaknesses. Some rise to the challenge, while others crumble under the pressure. Their transformation under duress highlights the thin veneer of civility that separates man from beast as the struggle for survival strips away their layers of social conditioning. The river journey becomes a symbolic descent into chaos, where the characters confront the rawest aspects of themselves. The film captures the primal forces that lie beneath the surface of human behavior, as each man grapples with the darkness within. Their fight for survival forces them to question their values, testing the boundaries of right and wrong in ways they never anticipated. The wilderness, with its indifferent beauty, mirrors their internal conflict, showing how nature's power can both inspire and destroy. Through these trials, Deliverance explores themes of masculinity and identity, as each character faces a crisis of self. The men, accustomed to urban comforts, are forced to rely on instincts they barely recognize, finding strength and savagery in equal measure. In this context, nature acts as both a brutal antagonist and a catalyst for self-discovery, stripping them of their illusions and exposing the fragility of human life. Each man emerges from the journey profoundly changed, with scars that go far beyond physical wounds. Deliverance is a meditation on the unpredictability of life and the hidden depths of the human psyche. It reveals the cost of survival in a world that can be as unforgiving as it is beautiful. The men's experience serves as a haunting reminder that, in the face of true adversity, all pretense falls away, leaving only the raw truth of who we are. The river's relentless flow becomes a metaphor for life's indifference, a force that reveals both our strength and our vulnerability. The Departed, 2006, filmed for 12:05 a.m. The Departed dives into the gritty underworld of Boston, where two men lead double lives on opposite sides of the law. Billy Costigan is an undercover cop infiltrating the mafia, while Colin Sullivan is a mole for the mafia planted within the police department. As they navigate their roles, they're consumed by a relentless cycle of deception, each trying to unmask the other while hiding his own secrets. This constant tension captures the intense pressure of maintaining identities that are not truly their own, forcing them to navigate moral compromises that test their integrity. The film portrays how these undercover lives take a psychological toll, as both men grapple with loyalty and betrayal. Billy and Colin find themselves torn between the groups they've sworn allegiance to and the inner conflicts they experience in those roles. Each faces the danger of being exposed, and with it, the threat to their lives. Their relationships, family connections, and even their sense of self are strained to the breaking point. Every step they take to protect their cover brings them closer to a perilous showdown, deepening their fear and alienation. Throughout the film, Boston's backdrop adds to the sense of entrapment. Its urban sprawl of narrow alleys and dimly lit bars mirrors the characters' psychological entanglements, creating a city that feels like a trap. The tension escalates as the characters' actions begin to unravel, impacting not only their lives, but those around them. This environment, filled with shadows and secrets, captures the essence of a place where loyalty is precarious, and survival often demands ruthless choices. The city becomes an entity with a life of its own, one that refuses to let either man escape unscathed. As the stakes grow higher, the film poses questions about justice and the cost of deception. Both men, in their own ways, are trying to live by a code, though each has sacrificed parts of himself in the process. In their desperation to protect their secrets, they blur the lines between right and wrong, leading to violent outcomes. The film ultimately forces the viewer to question whether justice can exist in a world where manipulation and deceit have become necessary tools for survival. The Departed ultimately is a story of identities lost and compromised in the pursuit of loyalty. In their twisted dance, Billy and Colin reflect the duality of human nature, the simultaneous drive for belonging and the fear of being truly known. Their fates are as intertwined as they are tragic, revealing the emptiness that often accompanies a life built on lies. In the end, the film leaves us pondering the cost of loyalty in a world where the pursuit of justice often blurs into self-preservation. The Worst Person in the World, 2021, Channel 4, 12:50 a.m. The Worst Person in the World explores the life of Julie, a young woman navigating her 20s and 30s in search of purpose and fulfillment. Through a series of 12 chapters, we watch Julie explore different relationships, career paths, and identities. She is both bold and uncertain, a character defined by her desire to find happiness on her own terms. Each decision she makes, each shift in direction, highlights her ongoing struggle to balance self-discovery with societal expectations. This search for authenticity becomes the driving force of her journey. Julie's relationships are central to her journey, each one bringing new perspectives and challenges. As she moves between partners, she confronts the complexity of commitment, attraction, and personal growth. These relationships mirror her own evolving understanding of love and identity, revealing how connections with others can be both fulfilling and limiting. Her experiences with romance illustrate the difficulty of maintaining an individual's sense of self while being deeply connected to another person. As Julie tries on different careers, we see her questioning the purpose of work and the pressures to find meaning in professional success. She is torn between societal notions of achievement and her own desire for freedom. Her dissatisfaction with jobs that don't fulfill her speaks to a broader struggle faced by many young adults, a search for a career that aligns with one's values. This journey through various roles sheds light on the challenges of finding a path that feels authentic in a world that often prioritizes status and stability. The film also addresses the fleeting nature of happiness and the ways in which Julie's choices impact her sense of self. Her impulsive decisions reflect both her desire to seize the moment and her fear of commitment, leaving her in a constant state of flux. Each chapter of her life holds beauty and regret, as she learns that some choices can't be undone. Her journey is bittersweet, as she gains insight into herself but realizes that certain aspects of life may always remain elusive. The Worst Person in the World is a reflection on the complexities of modern adulthood, where the search for identity is ongoing and often fraught with doubt. Julie's experiences are both specific and universal, capturing the inner turmoil that comes with wanting to live authentically in a world filled with pressures to conform. Her journey resonates as a reminder that self-discovery is a never-ending process, one that often involves learning to live with the choices we make along the way.
Monday, the 11th of November 2024. Rebecca, 1940, Talking Pictures, 9:05 p.m. Rebecca tells the haunting story of a young woman who marries wealthy widower Maxim de Winter and moves to his imposing estate, Manderley. However, she quickly finds herself living in the shadow of his first wife, Rebecca, whose presence looms large over the house and its inhabitants. Manderley itself becomes a character, a place filled with secrets and an unsettling atmosphere. The new Mrs. de Winter, shy and inexperienced, feels constantly compared to the late Rebecca, struggling to assert her place in a home that seems to resist her presence. As she tries to adjust to her new life, the young bride is met with coldness from the housekeeper, Mrs. Danvers, who is fiercely loyal to Rebecca's memory. Mrs. Danvers is a constant reminder of the former mistress's beauty, charm, and sophistication, fueling the new wife's insecurities. The bride's sense of self-worth is undermined by Mrs. Danvers' manipulative tactics, which heighten her feelings of inadequacy. This silent power struggle between the two women adds a layer of tension to the story, as the young bride becomes increasingly isolated. The mystery surrounding Rebecca's death slowly unfolds, revealing darker truths about both the late mistress and Maxim. As the new Mrs. de Winter learns more about Rebecca's life, she begins to see the complexities beneath Manderley's facade. This journey of discovery challenges her perceptions of love, loyalty, and the nature of marriage. The house, with its hidden corridors and ghostly reminders, becomes a maze she must navigate to uncover the truth. Her quest for answers becomes a personal struggle for autonomy in a place that seems determined to erase her. Through this process, the young bride confronts the weight of the past and its influence on the present. She realizes that Rebecca's legacy is not what it seems, and the perfect image she once admired hides secrets and lies. This revelation forces her to redefine her understanding of strength, beauty, and identity. The story becomes a battle between memory and reality, as she learns that living under someone else's shadow is an impossible burden. In the end, Rebecca is a story about reclaiming one's sense of self amid haunting memories and societal expectations. The new Mrs. De Winter's journey is one of resilience, as she transforms from a timid bride into a woman who confronts the ghosts of her who's. Anais in Love, 2021, Channel 4 2:40 p.m. In Anais in Love, we follow a spirited young woman who moves through life with intense passion, but often without direction. Anais, in her late 20s, finds herself in a series of impulsive relationships, with each connection revealing her restless nature. She's driven by a powerful urge for freedom and new experiences, yet the same desire keeps her from committing fully to anything. The film captures her whirlwind energy, where each decision is marked by spontaneity, reflecting her struggle to find stability without losing her zest for life. Anaïs's relationships are tumultuous, yet deeply meaningful, each one mirroring her inner conflicts and desires. She is both drawn to and terrified by intimacy, as she flits from one person to another in search of an ideal that always seems just out of reach. Her romantic encounters are intense, but fleeting, capturing the beauty and pain of passion unfulfilled. Each new love interest offers her a glimpse of herself, but the moment things become serious, she pulls away, as if fearing the loss of her identity within a partnership. Through her journey, the film subtly critiques societal expectations around love and commitment. Anaïs's actions may seem selfish to some, but they reflect a desire for self-discovery that doesn't fit neatly into traditional notions of romance. Her search for meaning outside of conventional relationships challenges the idea that happiness must come from stability or long-term plans. Her path is a reminder that not everyone finds fulfillment in the same way, and that there's beauty in pursuing life without a set roadmap. The film also explores the impact of Anaïs's choices on those around her. Her impulsive actions often leave emotional turbulence in her wake, affecting friends, family, and lovers alike. She learns that her quest for freedom has consequences, that her choices, while exhilarating, come with a cost. This realization is both sobering and transformative, forcing her to confront the effect of her desires on those who care about her. Each step brings her closer to understanding that independence and connection aren't mutually exclusive. Anais in Love is a celebration of self-discovery and the journey to understand oneself amidst the complexities of modern relationships. Anaïs's path is one of exploration, where each encounter brings her closer to a sense of purpose and self-acceptance. The film leaves us pondering the nature of love, freedom, and individuality, reminding us that true contentment often lies in embracing the beauty of an unpredictable life. Anaïs's story is a testament to the idea that sometimes, the journey itself is the destination.
Tuesday the 12th of November, 2024. Storyville, Queendom, 2023, BBC for 10 p.m. Storyville, Queendom follows Gina Marvin, a young performance artist from Russia whose bold and subversive works push against cultural boundaries and political norms. Gina uses her body as a canvas, challenging societal expectations with avant-garde costumes and provocative public performances. In a climate of increasing repression and conservative values, Gina's art is an act of defiance, offering a voice to the marginalized and challenging audiences to confront uncomfortable truths. Her journey reflects the courage required to express oneself in a society where dissent can come with severe personal risks. Gina's performances reveal her commitment to breaking taboos and confronting stereotypes. Her outlandish, often surreal costumes serve as statements on gender, power, and identity. Whether she's walking through public spaces in garb that disrupts expectations or engaging in raw, visceral acts of self-expression, her art is a powerful counter-narrative to the mainstream. Each piece highlights how creativity can be an act of rebellion, with Gina using her body and imagination as tools to question the restrictive norms around her. The film sheds light on the challenges faced by queer artists in repressive environments. Gina's work places her in a precarious position, and her activism is met with hostility from those who see her as a threat to tradition. Her journey exposes the limitations and dangers of self-expression in a system that punishes deviation from the norm. Her experiences reflect the resilience required to confront such obstacles, as she chooses to persevere despite harassment, arrests, and a society that offers little protection to those who dare to be different. At the heart of Storyville, Queendom is the theme of self-discovery and acceptance. Gina's art is not only an outward protest but also an inward journey, as she seeks to understand and embrace her own identity. Her path is filled with moments of vulnerability and doubt, and the film captures the emotional toll of standing alone against overwhelming opposition. The transformative power of her work becomes evident as she learns to embrace her uniqueness and continue her artistic expression, despite the toll it takes on her personally and professionally. Ultimately, Storyville, Queendom is a striking exploration of the power of art in the face of repression. Gina's story is one of resilience, creativity, and courage, embodying the idea that self-expression can be both liberating and dangerous. Her journey through art is a reminder of the strength it takes to live authentically and the risks faced by those who defy conformity. Queendom leaves audiences reflecting on the role of art as a force for change, and the price often paid by those who dare to use it as a weapon against injustice. Road to Perdition, 2002, ITV 1, 10:45 p.m. Road to Perdition tells the story of Michael Sullivan, a hitman in 1930s America, who is forced to go on the run with his young son after a betrayal by his boss. Set during the Great Depression, the film's dark and moody landscapes mirror the themes of loss, loyalty, and redemption. Sullivan is a man haunted by his past and desperate to protect his son from a life of violence. As they journey together, the bond between father and son deepens, even as they face relentless danger. Their relationship becomes a fragile lifeline in a world filled with betrayal and brutality. Sullivan's life of crime has always been carefully hidden from his son, but circumstances force them into close proximity to that dark world. As they evade enemies, young Michael comes to see both the strength and vulnerability of his father. This gradual understanding challenges the boy's innocence as he begins to see his father not just as a protector but as a man with a complex and troubling past. Their journey becomes a rite of passage for the son and a journey toward redemption for the father. The film captures the ways in which violence and betrayal impact personal identity and family loyalty. Sullivan's decision to shield his son from his own lifestyle reflects a desire to break a cycle that he himself cannot escape. His love for his son is fierce and protective, a force that drives him to unimaginable lengths to ensure his boy's future. This dedication is both touching and tragic, as Sullivan realizes that his past actions have set into motion forces that threaten the very thing he cherishes most. As they travel, the stark, desolate landscapes highlight the emptiness that has marked Sullivan's life. The towns they pass through seem drained of hope, reflecting a world in the throes of economic despair. Against this bleak backdrop, Sullivan's pursuit of a better life for his son becomes almost mythic, a story of one man's struggle to overcome his own sins. The world they navigate is one of moral ambiguity, where right and wrong blur, and survival often comes at the expense of innocence. Road to Perdition is a haunting tale of redemption and the price of loyalty. Sullivan's journey is as much about confronting his own guilt as it is about securing a future for his son. His efforts are a reminder of the power of love and the sacrifices it can demand. The film's final scenes resonate with a sense of both loss and hope, leaving us with a portrait of a man who, in his darkest moments, found purpose in the love for his son. It's a testament to the idea that, even in a world marred by betrayal, redemption is possible through the choices we make for those we love. Naked, 1993, filmed for 11:15 p.m. Mike Leigh's Naked offers a raw and unfiltered portrayal of disillusionment and existential despair. The film follows Johnny, a volatile drifter in London, who spends his days wandering the city, engaging in darkly philosophical rants and unsettling encounters. Johnny is both repellent and fascinating, a character whose intellect and cynicism fuel his interactions. His conversations are laced with sarcasm and anger, and his provocations expose the social fractures and isolation within urban life. The film captures his spiral through a city that is as disconnected and lost as he is. Johnny's encounters with others reveal his deep-seated alienation and his need to challenge those around him. His interactions are confrontational, often testing the patience and empathy of those he meets. Yet, beneath his abrasive exterior, there is a deep sense of loneliness and frustration. Johnny's anger seems aimed as much at himself as at society, and his self-destructive tendencies are a constant reminder of his inner turmoil. Each meeting pushes him closer to the edges of social and personal breakdown, laying bare the consequences of a life lived without connection. The film's setting, a gritty and unforgiving London, mirrors Johnny's own disillusionment. The city streets and alleys become a landscape of desolation, where fleeting human contact only seems to deepen his sense of emptiness. Lee's direction creates a world that feels both claustrophobic and boundless, a place where Johnny's internal chaos is reflected in the urban sprawl. The dark, overcast environment and run-down spaces emphasize the hopelessness that Johnny carries with him, as if the city itself is complicit in his descent. Through Johnny's journey, the film critiques the harsh realities of economic and social disenfranchisement. The characters he encounters are similarly struggling, each facing their own forms of isolation and hardship. These interactions serve as windows into a society that seems to have abandoned compassion in favor of survival. Johnny's critiques of capitalism, religion, and power structures add layers to his character, painting him as a tragic anti-hero who sees the world's flaws but feels powerless to change them. Naked is a bleak yet profound exploration of human isolation and despair. Johnny's story doesn't offer redemption or resolution, instead, it leaves us with a portrait of a man whose intellect and insight are his own worst enemies. His journey through London is an odyssey of broken dreams and bitter truths, highlighting the vulnerabilities that lie beneath his harsh exterior. The film is a powerful reminder of the complexity of human pain and the ways in which disillusionment can turn inward, leading to a life marked by anger and estrangement.
Wednesday, the 11th of November 2024. The Winslow Boy, 1999, film 4:30 p.m. The Winslow Boy follows the story of Ronnie Winslow, a young boy accused of theft, and his family's determination to clear his name. Set in Edwardian England, the film explores the lengths to which the Winslow family will go in pursuit of justice and honor. When Ronnie is expelled from school, his father, Arthur Winslow, makes it his mission to fight for his son's innocence. This struggle reveals not only the family's strength, but also the personal costs of standing up against powerful institutions. Their pursuit of justice becomes a test of familial loyalty and resilience. As the Winslows seek to defend Ronnie, the legal battle begins to strain their family's resources and relationships. Arthur, driven by a profound sense of duty to his son, sacrifices his health and financial stability to support the case. His single-minded commitment reflects the deep bond he shares with Ronnie, but also raises questions about the cost of his uncompromising principles. The toll on the family grows heavier as they face mounting public scrutiny, and each family member is forced to reconsider what they are willing to sacrifice for the sake of honor. The film highlights how social expectations and reputations play a significant role in personal decisions. The Winslow family's struggle is not only about proving Ronnie's innocence, but also about upholding the family name and values. Arthur's insistence on clearing Ronnie's name at all costs places the family at odds with a society that values reputation and social order above individual rights. The case becomes a symbol of resistance against a rigid class system, illustrating the risks involved in challenging authority when public perception and class status are on the line. Catherine Winslow, Ronnie's sister, plays a pivotal role in challenging societal norms and expectations for women. She is outspoken, intelligent, and committed to the cause, even as she faces criticism for her involvement in what is seen as a man's matter. Catherine's character brings a progressive voice to the story, offering a perspective that questions traditional gender roles. Her dedication to her brother's innocence reflects her own inner strength and desire for equality, showing how personal convictions can drive meaningful change within and beyond family dynamics. The Winslow Boy is a timeless exploration of justice, sacrifice, and integrity. The Winslow family's unwavering commitment to the truth resonates as a reminder of the courage it takes to stand against powerful forces for what one believes is right. The film leaves us with a portrait of resilience, showing that true honor lies not in public opinion, but in one's willingness to fight for the values that matter most. In the end, the Winslow family's story is one of quiet heroism, where love and principle prevail against all odds.
Thursday, the 14th of November, 2024. Nomadland, 2020, film for 11:35 p.m. Nomadland follows Fern, a woman in her 60s who loses her job and home and decides to adopt a life on the road, joining a community of modern-day nomads. Set in the American West, the film offers a poignant portrayal of life outside traditional societal structures as Fern navigates her way through various jobs and camps. Her journey is one of resilience and self-discovery as she learns to adapt to a world that no longer offers her stability. Fern's choice to embrace a transient lifestyle allows her to find a new sense of freedom even as it brings challenges. Throughout her journey, Fern encounters others who have chosen, or been forced, to live on the road, each with their own story of loss and renewal. Her interactions with fellow nomads reveal a sense of shared understanding and kinship among people who have lost their homes but found community. These relationships are fleeting yet meaningful, capturing the unique bonds that form among those who live on the margins of society. The nomadic community provides Fern with companionship and support, even if their paths are destined to diverge. The film subtly explores themes of economic hardship and the impact of modern capitalism on individuals. Many of the nomads Fern meets have been displaced by financial struggles, showing how the pursuit of stability can be elusive in a world that values productivity over people. Fern's work in temporary, low-wage jobs, such as seasonal warehouse work, highlights the precarious nature of labor in today's economy. Her experiences reveal how people are often left behind by systems that prioritize profit, creating a cycle of instability for those on the edges of society. As Fern travels, the vast, open landscapes of the American West provide a backdrop that contrasts with her uncertain existence. The wide open spaces evoke both freedom and isolation, underscoring the bittersweet nature of her journey. The beauty of the natural world offers moments of solace, while the harshness of life on the road tests her resilience. Fern's connection to the land reflects her search for meaning beyond material comforts, capturing the paradox of a life that is both liberating and lonely. Nomadland is a meditation on resilience, community, and the search for purpose in a changing world. Fern's story resonates as a testament to the strength required to rebuild a life when everything familiar has been stripped away. Her journey is a reminder that human connection and self-acceptance are possible even in the most uncertain of circumstances. Nomadland leaves us with a sense of hope and humility as Fern finds peace not in permanence but in her ability to keep moving forward. Happening, 2021, Channel 4, 2:15 a.m. Happening follows Anne, a bright young student in 1960s France, who faces an unplanned pregnancy in a society where abortion is illegal. The film captures Anne's desperation as she navigates a world where her options are limited and her choices are scrutinized. As she weighs her decisions, Anne's journey becomes a powerful exploration of personal autonomy and resilience. Her determination to take control of her future is at odds with the restrictive social norms around her, creating a tension that drives the narrative. Anne's struggle unfolds in a society that is quick to judge but slow to offer support. Her friends, family, and even her doctors are unwilling or unable to help, leaving her isolated in her plight. Each attempt she makes to seek assistance only reinforces the lack of compassion in her community. Her isolation reveals the vulnerability of those who defy societal expectations, and her experience becomes a stark commentary on the lack of agency afforded to women in her time. Anne's perseverance is a testament to her inner strength, even as she faces increasing challenges. The film brings into focus the immense pressure Anne faces as she tries to pursue her education and personal goals. Her pregnancy threatens to derail her aspirations, underscoring the sacrifices women are often forced to make in the face of societal and legal constraints. Anne's fight to maintain control over her own life highlights the barriers that prevent women from realizing their potential. The film captures her inner conflict as she is forced to choose between her dreams and the expectations placed upon her. As Anne seeks ways to terminate her pregnancy, the dangers and risks of her decision become painfully clear. Her journey into the underground world of illegal abortions is fraught with fear, uncertainty, and danger. The medical risks she faces underscore the severity of her situation and the lengths she must go to in order to reclaim control over her body. Each step of her journey is marked by fear and bravery as she navigates a path filled with obstacles and limited choices. Happening is a sobering look at one woman's struggle for control over her life in a society that offers little support or understanding. Anne's story resonates as a powerful reminder of the resilience required to fight for one's future in the face of judgment and danger. Her journey is both a testament to personal courage and a critique of the societal norms that seek to restrict women's choices. The film leaves us with a sense of empathy and urgency, as Anne's experience reminds us of the ongoing struggle for autonomy and the cost of denying people the right to make decisions about their own lives.
Friday, the 15th of November 2024. The Last Duel, 2021, film 4:09 p.m. The Last Duel is set in 14th century France and tells the story of a brutal accusation that leads to a deadly confrontation between two men. When Marguerite, the wife of Knight Jean de Carouges, accuses Squire Jacques Legris of a violent crime against her, it sparks a series of events that culminate in a legally sanctioned duel to the death. The film, based on real events, presents the story through three perspectives, those of Jean, Jacques, and Marguerite, each providing conflicting accounts of what transpired. The narrative structure illuminates the complexities of truth, memory, and justice, exposing the different motivations and perceptions of each character. The film explores the limits of honor and loyalty in a society dominated by strict codes and rigid hierarchies. Jean, a warrior with a strong sense of pride, is motivated to seek justice not only for his wife, but also to restore his own honor, which he feels has been tarnished by Jacques' actions. His perspective reveals his struggle for respect and the lengths he will go to protect his reputation. Yet, Jean's understanding of loyalty is flawed, as it is heavily intertwined with his ego and personal grievances. His insistence on a duel is not only about defending his wife, but also about defending his place in society, where a man's worth is often measured by his status and power. Through Jacques' account, we see the darker side of entitlement and privilege. He views himself as a favored and charismatic man, deeply embedded in the noble circles of the time. His version of events casts doubt on Marguerite's claims, revealing his own sense of invincibility and disregard for the consequences of his actions. Jacques' perspective reveals how power can distort one's sense of reality, as he justifies his actions without acknowledging the harm he has caused. His position and favor in society have granted him a sense of impunity, which ultimately leads him to underestimate the severity of the accusations against him. Marguerite's perspective is the most emotionally resonant, capturing her courage in a society that grants her few rights and little voice. Her account of events sheds light on the fear and isolation faced by women who challenge those in power, especially in matters that impact their dignity and safety. Marguerite's story underscores the resilience required to speak out in a world where her words are not trusted and her motives are questioned. Her character embodies the bravery it takes to pursue justice against overwhelming odds, particularly when her own well-being, and potentially her life, are at stake if her husband loses the duel. The Last Duel is a profound exploration of truth, justice, and the human cost of a society built on hierarchy and gender inequality. The film's unique narrative structure exposes the biases and flaws in each character's perspective, leaving viewers to confront the reality that truth is often elusive and shaped by those who hold power. The final duel is a climactic clash that symbolizes the brutal consequences of a system where personal pride and status often override genuine justice. The Last Duel leaves a lasting impact, highlighting the timeless relevance of individual courage in the face of societal injustice, and the sacrifices often demanded in the pursuit of truth.
And finally streaming. Alex Jones, Plant-Wise Strike, Children of the Strike, 2023. Alex Jones, Plant-Wise Strike, Children of the Strike is a poignant documentary that revisits one of the lesser-known episodes of British history, the involvement of children in the 1984 to 1985 miners' strike in Wales. Presented by Alex Jones, the film focuses on how the strike affected the children of miners in close-knit Welsh communities. The documentary sheds light on how these young people bore witness to their families' struggles, often becoming participants in a conflict far beyond their years. Through first-hand accounts and powerful visuals, Plant Y Strike captures the resilience and unity that emerged amidst a time of intense hardship. The documentary explores how the strike created a unique environment where children learned about solidarity and sacrifice from a young age. Children stood with their parents on picket lines, participated in fundraising efforts, and witnessed the strain that financial hardship placed on their families. For many, these experiences shaped their identities, instilling values of community and empathy that persisted into adulthood. The film highlights these personal stories, illustrating how a collective struggle left a profound imprint on an entire generation. The impact of the strike goes beyond economic hardship; it reveals the emotional toll taken on families and communities. For the children, seeing their parents struggle to make ends meet while facing opposition from law enforcement and government officials was both eye-opening and painful. The documentary reveals the complexity of these experiences as young people processed feelings of anger, frustration, and pride. Plant Y Strike captures how such challenges affected their view of authority and the world, fostering a deep-rooted sense of justice and loyalty to their roots. Community plays a central role in the film, as families came together to survive during the strike. The documentary underscores the importance of mutual aid and support within these mining communities, showing how, in the face of adversity, people shared resources, meals, and emotional support. For the children, this environment of shared hardship and unity created lasting bonds and a strong sense of belonging. Alex Jones highlights how these connections were a source of strength, allowing the children to endure the pressures of a conflict that profoundly disrupted their lives. Alex Jones, Plant Y Strike, Children of the Strike, is a moving exploration of how a community's struggle for justice and dignity became a defining moment in the lives of its youngest members. The film is a reminder of the strength that comes from unity, even under the most challenging circumstances. The children's memories reveal a unique blend of trauma and resilience, emphasizing the power of solidarity. Plant Y Strike is both a tribute to the miners' legacy and a celebration of the enduring spirit of a generation shaped by hardship, leaving viewers with a sense of admiration for those who stood together in the face of adversity. Available on BBC iPlayer from Tuesday the 12th of November, 2024.